Good morning. Welcome. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Bienvenue. Willkommen. What's the other word? No, can't think of it. Hello. Bonjour. Bonjour. What's the other word? What's hello in other languages?
Hello.
What's German?
I
I thought you did German.
did do German.
I didn't do German. I wasn't clever enough to do German.
I wasn't allowed to carry on doing German because I was doing Latin and French. I wasn't allowed to do German
Really?
and Spanish.
It wasn't in the right column for your options.
Our school was all like that. It
Yeah,
was
well-
like, you do this, you do that, you do this, you do
But
that.
if that's in that column, you can't do that one. Options, they were called, weren't they? Options.
Yeah, but our school
Bullshit,
was
I call
quite
it.
flexible in certain options. But you see, I really
Stop.
like...
Stop now. That's enough, Paul. Thank you.
I really like technical drawing.
We haven't even said this show is called...
Sunday Chat!
And I'm Richard and this is Paul, in case anybody's confused.
Yeah, I really like technical drawing.
Did
I
you?
loved it. I used to love doing all those Isha, you know, the 3D things that when you go up the stairs you're actually
Escher.
going down the... Escher.
Escher.
Yeah. I loved doing those. But you had to do woodwork. And I was...
What do you mean you had to do woodwork?
If you did technical drawing, you had to do woodwork. I was terrible at woodwork.
Yeah, but you didn't do woodwork for O level, did you? We're talking
No,
about
I did.
options.
I did woodwork for O level.
Really?
Yeah, I did O level woodwork. It was the only thing I didn't pass.
And probably one of the only things you've never found useful.
Well, actually,
Really?
putting the edge beds together and doing the but not those sort of, what are they called, the clicky things?
You don't need to have done woodwork to saw some pieces of wood.
Mortise and tenon joints. Never done them. And lots of other things.
You
and
haven't done any woodworking other than cutting
No.
some wood in the 28 years that we've been together.
No, I haven't.
I've done more woodworking than you have. I did woodwork at school. I made that fish. Do you remember?
I made a fish that looked like a dog's poo. It was one of those sort of puffer fish things, you know, the big round ones. But it just looked like a dog's poo.
I made an ashtray in metalwork.
You did metalwork?
I did metalwork and woodwork. You had to.
You see, we didn't have metalwork at school.
You did metalwork, woodwork, needlework
Didn't have
and cookery until you took your options, and then you had to choose one.
Well, we didn't have cookery. We didn't have needlework or whatever it's home economics. Is that what it's called?
Needlework.
We
was
didn't have
separate.
metalwork. I went to a public school, you see. We were all supposed to be leaders of industry, so we didn't need to know how to work with our hands. Just ridiculous. You know, cookery is one of the most... Cookery happens now. Ladies' College in Guernsey always did cookery, but it was a ladies' college. Boys' college didn't.
It's very, very behind the times,
It
isn't
was.
it, really? I mean, you know.
It was, and in fact, they have merged now. The ladies' college, and I don't know if it's across all years, but it's certainly when I was leaving, it was sort of merging with the sixth forms. So yeah, I think it's mixed
Anyway.
now. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm bored now.
Bored.
Yeah, let's get on with what we've got to
Bored.
talk about and get it out of the way so we can get on with our day.
What are we doing today? I'm doing things at the plot.
So, it's septembre in French.
What's that in German?
I don't know.
Not
Got
me.
no idea. I don't care.
Claudia will be able
I
to
never
tell
liked.
us.
I'm sorry, but I never liked the sound of the German language. It's very
Glocken
hard.
language.
It's hard-edged, isn't it?
Glocken language.
The what?
Glocken.
Glocken. What's
Yeah.
that?
Well, it's like Glockenspiel.
Glockenspiels are lovely.
I know, but that's... Yeah, but the word
They're
isn't,
like
is
water.
it? Yeah, the word isn't.
So what you've just said is absolutely pointless.
It's what my grandma used to say. It's Glockenspiel. That's what she used to say for German. Because Spiel is talking, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
So, we are in September, and it is distinctly autumnal.
Yeah.
It's colder, it's been damper, hasn't it? We've had quite a bit of rain. We have in West London.
Yeah, we have. It's really odd because it continues that we have rain and Vivi, who's 10 miles away.
No, she's about 17 miles
17
away
miles
from
away,
us.
further east.
No, she's south.
Yeah, but she's still further east than us, south and east. Has not had any rain like we've had.
No.
Yeah, it's really. I mean, it gets quite. There's quite a lot of hills there, isn't there? So the clouds might not get over the hills as such.
Well, I think we get more because we're very flat. Yeah. I mean, Ealing is a little bit hilly.
Yeah. Perivale is, isn't it?
Well, you've got
Horsenden Hill.
But they're not massive hills.
No, but there's a
in the
great
scheme of
view.
things.
Great view across London from Horsenden Hill.
Horsenden Hill. I remember my friend Karen taking me there years ago, and I couldn't believe the view from Horsenden Hill of the city. Amazing view of the city of London. All the buildings suddenly appearing just there, you know, and we're about 13 miles away from the centre of London here. So yeah, there we are. How lovely. So yes, we are in the change of season.
Yeah, I've been feeling a bit autumnal myself this week.
Tell me about it.
A bit grey.
Oh,
a bit grey.
Flat. Flat as a pancake. Flat, unmotivated, demotivated, actually.
Yeah.
What was the other word I was going to use to describe how I felt? Just lacking in any kind of desire to be creative. I've not felt like doing any photography. I've not felt like doing any filming or social media. I've just been getting on with the jobs in the house.
Yeah, well, you've been doing quite a lot in the house.
Yeah, but I've been doing the smaller jobs, things like painting radiator covers and things like that, rather than huge projects. But and trying to keep the house tidy and clean as well. I cannot believe...
He's going to go on about hoovering now.
I truly cannot believe, and I've kind of done this as an experiment, but I've been kind of vacuuming every day, and I can't believe how much dust appears.
In the vacuum.
Because the Shark vacuum, which is basically like a motorised sweeper, which you've seen. If you've not seen my review of the Shark, have a look. And I love the Shark for daily sort of picking up bits. Do you know what I mean? But every time I vacuum, it picks up loads of dust. And I can't quite believe it. Where does it come from, Paul? I mean, we can't be shedding that much skin.
I think it's fair to say that our rugs have virtually no thread in them whatsoever anymore.
Shut up.
Well, you go over them, you're pulling all the threads out. They're old. Some of these are 120 years old or whatever.
No, they're not, Paul.
Well, some are modern, yeah.
But I just don't understand where it comes from.
And then he comes to me
and I show him.
Thrusts the Shark container with the dust in it and goes, "Look at this! Look at this!"
I mean, you know, there's only two of us. There are no pets anymore.
No.
God, I mean, I used to blame it on the cats. I used to say, God, the cats, they're creating dust and hair, dust bunnies everywhere. Look at the stairs. I mean, the stairs don't get as many dust bunnies now.
No, they don't.
Granted.
They don't.
But I mean, you know, I could vacuum every day and still pick up stuff.
However, I do think we have the equivalent of the fur of 3 cats on our joint heads at the moment.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about hair. I'm talking about dust.
Yeah, but it goes all, it breaks, little bits come off.
My hair doesn't.
It?
My hair comes off in whole strands.
Does it?
Sometimes in chunks.
I got a bald patch.
You have, I haven't.
Have I got a bald? Oh, I do, and up there, yeah.
Yes, you have.
I do. Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? It's like your hair does shed. I mean, it's always shed. My hair is always shed. Everybody loses hair from their head every day.
But if I had less hair, I'm sure I'd be... No?
No. I think it comes from outside, some of it, because we always have the windows open. We've got wooden floorboards. There's probably 150 years worth of dust under the floorboards that probably comes up as we walk around.
164.
Well, whatever.
166 years of dust.
Anyway, that's boring now. Let's move on.
But I think with my hair, I do think that when you say about coming in... I mean, your hair must catch things as you're walking. Of course it does. And therefore I come in and I shake my hair.
So it's you're causing the dust. Well, there's only one way to solve a problem. To eliminate that problem.
Go bald. Go bald.
No, don't go bald.
All right.
Just shake your hair outside. Let's move on. Yes, feeling under the weather. Really under the weather. I thought I was coming down with a cold. You thought you were coming down with a cold. It kind of lasted a couple of days. But I think it's the change in temperature. Because when I go from hot to cold, my nose runs.
Oh, yeah.
So when you change temperature, I'm sure the sinuses react. And it's no coincidence that it's been a full moon this week. Now, I know people say there is no correlation whatsoever between the full moon and people's moods, but I think there is.
I think there has to be, because aren't we? We're like 75% water and all of that, and then the moon, full moon, pulls and make big tides. I think it does.
The scientists cannot find a reasonable explanation for that. That's the thing. And I do like science. I prefer things to be science-based.
Well, yeah. Otherwise we'd all be idiots.
To be tested. And the theory cannot be tested, I don't think.
I think I would need to go into a vacuum chamber for a week with air and air masks to test that. To test that. Oh, big van going whoa, up the road.
The windows are open.
The window. When I went to get our milk this morning, well, not our soya drink, it's called. That guy's reversing. Again, the temperature change from inside to outside. I just bent down to pick up the cartons, and I coughed, and I know that was the temperature change thing, because I notice I do that as well. So
that's because you're a mouth breather.
Not a mouse breather.
Always breathe through the nose. That's why we have hairs in our noses to filter.
I do try and breathe through my nose. I do.
It's not working. But yes, it's been a flat week. Yeah. Weird week. And I've been on holiday as well. We've not been anywhere.
No, it hasn't been a bad week. Don't get us wrong. No, it's not been a bad week at all.
Well, it's not been a good week.
No, but it's not been a bad week. Nothing has sort of... Gosh, it's like Brands Hatch out there this morning.
This is what it's like at the moment. Everybody is using their cars to go everywhere.
I think they're taking Tarquin and Tiffany to ballet and judo.
It's Saturday morning.
Saturday morning.
I guess.
Yeah, anyway, Saturday morning.
Let's move on, Paul, because it's kind of flat now anyway.
So what do you want to talk about today?
Highlights of the week. We finally got the new computer.
Yay.
And we ordered our new computer from a company called PC Specialists.
Specialists.
Specialist.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
That's the name of the company.
PC Specialist.
And
They're PC specialists.
And it was built to spec, and it arrived in good time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were constantly in touch with us to say what the progress was. We had constant emails from them.
Regular,
Very
not constant.
Very good. Very good.
Really good communication.
And good management of expectations.
Yeah.
Which is one of the key components of good customer service. Yeah, it is. Expectations.
Mm.
And they did manage our expectations very well. And the product arrived, very pleased with it. This video has been edited on it. And we did some test runs, and it is, well, lightning fast.
Yeah.
I have to say. We spec'd it for speed of processing video.
Mm.
That's what we spec'd it for. We didn't want any bells and whistles, you know, none of the little extras, fancy lights and all of that. None of that. Just spec'd it for high-speed video editing.
Mm.
And yeah, it is high speed. Programs open like that.
Yeah.
But it's a weird situation because I now have to get rid of the anxiety that I have had around doing video editing, because you have to turn the computer on 10 minutes before you want to use it.
You have had to.
We had to, with the laptop. We had to open it 10 minutes before we were going to use it, pray that it was going to start up okay, then wait 5 minutes for the program to open that we edit on.
Well, at least, yeah.
Then we had an expectation that it wasn't going to work properly, that it would be jerky and all of that. So it's kind of like you get used to that.
Yeah.
And
also you have to put the footage that you film into the machine as well, into the computer as well,
which
before
takes
you can put it into the program to edit it.
10 minutes or so to do that as well.
Well, from my phone to do a 40-minute sort of plot tour, which is usually about an hour of footage, it would take about 20 to 25 minutes.
What, to just upload it?
To just put it from my phone onto the computer.
Yeah. Whereas now,
yeah,
it's almost instantaneous.
It's much faster.
It's like a miracle. So the upshot of it all is we're delighted with the product. And we're glad that we went with them, because you just get the impression that they are focused on providing you with a PC that works, rather than something that's stylistically beautiful. And I mean, it's a nice box.
Yeah, but if you want,
it's enormous.
If you want those things,
you can have them.
You can have them. You can have a different case, and the case can be multicoloured. You can send your own case in to have everything fitted in your own case. You can have lights flashing.
For gaming machines and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a pretty light inside the box, I've noticed. There's a colour-changing LED inside the box. Must be part of one of the power pack or whatever. Yeah, it's quite pretty. But it's enormous. It's an enormous box.
Well, it's the same size as they used to be.
It's enormous. And it's got plenty of space inside for upgrades.
That's the
which
other.
Is also the other thing we wanted to do.
Yeah, that's the other thing. We wanted to make sure that we have spec'd it for the future, rather than now.
Yeah. And
thank you to all of those who did contribute towards the machine, towards us, and towards that new computer, because we've been able to spec it, we think, for the next sort of 5 or 6 or 7 years, hopefully. So we've gone for the latest technology that is proven and works, because hopefully that will give us an extra sort of 4 years of use.
Anyway, let's move on from that. So thank you.
Yes.
That's all lovely. So we also, we've kind of been forgetting to do things this week as well.
Yeah.
Forgetting to make notes on things. Forgetting to write stuff down that's sort of important. It's been a lackadaisical week.
It has. We were sitting here the other day, Richard was sitting over there, and we were talking about something, and I said, oh, you know, we should discuss that in Sunday chat.
Yeah, remember to write that down.
We'll remember to write that down.
I will.
Of course I didn't.
It's gone.
So I suggested this morning that I think we need to have just either scraps of paper stapled together or notebooks.
We've got notebooks.
In each room. And when we think about something, we write it down. Because I do have a notebook, and I have a notebook with me regularly, but I don't have a notebook with me all the time.
Well, we should.
I should carry it wherever I go, but sometimes you just don't. So to be able to go to the table here and just write down a note, which I can then transcribe to my notebook at a later date, would be the sensible thing to do.
And what do you need to remember to have with that notebook?
A pen.
A pen or a pencil.
Or a pencil.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. And who did you say has got a notebook in every room?
Toya.
Toya!
Yeah, I was reading that the other day. She was saying that she has a notebook by the bed, one in every room. So if she needs to write something down when it pops into her head, she does.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You think you're going to remember. It's like at night when you're falling asleep. I have some of my best ideas then.
I think you have all of them then.
Yeah, I probably do. And I think, oh, I'll remember that in them. I don't even remember thinking about ideas.
No.
In the morning.
Of course, one thing that you can do is take a note on your phone.
Yeah, but when you're falling asleep...
No, I don't mean when you're falling asleep.
You should actually sit up and write it down. That's what you should do.
Yeah. I do believe, and they've done tests on this as well, the act of actually writing things down rather than typing them up or making audio notes of them is much better for the brain memory recall. So yeah, I was fascinated by an article I read last year that I won't go into now because I'll bore Richard, but fascinated by that, the amount of additional recall people get in their memory by writing things down as opposed to
you just said that twice.
Note-taking things.
I think they got it the first time. So, Paul, you had to judge the Hanwell Sunflower Contest. Is it still recording, by the way?
It is. It's flashing. It's flashing.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really good fun. There were, so earlier during lockdown, this person, Rose, decided to get lots of sunflower seeds and distribute them to people so that there could be a sunflower competition.
Okay.
And throughout lockdown, there's been pictures of people growing their sunflowers. And last Sunday was judging day, and I was the judge. I was the only judge.
Judgment Day.
Yeah, Judgment Day. And it was really good fun. Obviously, there was a lot of social distancing going on, and masks being worn. I only had to wear a mask once. But you could go around to most people had access to their back gardens, or would put the sunflowers at the front, or obviously some of the sunflowers were grown at the front. And it was just really great because half of the people that I was judging their sunflowers I already knew, and I suppose I haven't seen some of them for 6 months. A couple were at the community gardens. The person who won was one of the people at our allotment, and that wasn't favouritism. I think it was horse manure. He did actually grow the taller sunflower, which I think was down to horse manure, because they're one of the people that look after the horses at our allotments. It was 12 foot 6 inches, but it was the tiniest sunflower at the top of this 12 foot 6 inch stalk, but it was the tallest sunflower. And then the another of our allotment holders, they were joint winners in the larger sunflower flower. But theirs was at home. They'd grown theirs at home. And then another person who's actually just on the corner of our allotments, but not an allotment holder, she was also the joint winner of the larger sunflower. So, but it was great because I met people that I haven't seen for ages. And I also gave a special award to Jill's daughter Melanie, who grew a sunflower that was 4 foot tall, that was exactly her own height. So she had a special award for growing a sunflower to her own height. And she's got a lovely book coming her way. So that's great. But it was just lovely. It took a couple of hours. I had a 13-foot bamboo pole marked off in feet, obviously. And I also had a 2-foot bamboo pole marked off in inches so that I could measure the flower head. So, yeah. So here's to next year and next year's local sunflower growing competition.
Lovely. Well done to all of the winners.
And all of those who took part too.
Good.
Not part two. Part two.
So, moving on swiftly before Paul starts telling the whole story again. And gets stuck in a sunflower competition loop.
Oh, that sounds quite fun, doesn't it?
I feel like my whole life's stuck in a loop at the moment, I tell you.
We need to catch up on Nick's allotment diary sunflower competition. Yeah, need to check how things are doing on that.
Do you?
Yeah, well, I'd like
Good.
to. I don't mean I
How
need
lovely.
to. I mean I'd like to.
How
and
lovely.
I will do. Yeah.
Special. Good.
Oh, and we have a sunflower that is doing, it's much shorter than last year's, but it's doing the same as what last year's did. It's suddenly become a multi-headed sunflower.
I don't know why you don't cut some of these sunflowers down and so we can have them as cut flowers in the house, Paul.
Because they give me joy at the allotment.
Well, they could give us joy here. We don't have to bring all of them, just 3.
3, right.
Anyway, thank you to Tracy.
Yes.
For the sage plants. Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you very much. So I won't say much about it because if you watch A Week at the Plot tomorrow, Monday, there's a bit in there about these sage plants. But they're lovely sage plants and they've been potted on now. So that's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And there was an added bonus in the package as well, which I was quite excited about.
Lovely. How great. So super. Oh dear, my blotting paper. And Paul, also, you've been making lots and lots and lots and more, lots and lots of tomato sauce.
Yeah.
The whole house constantly smells of roasted tomatoes.
It does. So, yeah, big harvest time. I think our tomatoes on the big bed of tomatoes will all be out this week because I want to start working on that bed quite soon. I'll go more into that when we do the allotment tour. But yeah, because we're in the middle of the harvest, I have literally just been doing loads of tomato sauce, as well as the roasted tomato sauce, which is fantastic, and I know a lot of you do. We've also been roasting tomatoes, which is something else that we do, but we slice them and then we put them onto a lower oven to roast them. We're sort of trying to dry them out and then put them onto a higher oven to just get them a little bit charred. We take those out and then we individually freeze them on a tray in our freezer. And then we can bag those up so that we can just add handfuls of lovely roasted wedges of tomato to our dishes over the winter months. I've got a tickly nose.
You freeze them flat on a tray. You don't freeze them individually, one by one.
No, you put them on a tray. Yeah.
Separately.
Yeah,
so
separately.
It's not a mass of tomatoes, they're separate. And that's so they don't stick together when you put them all together in a bag. That's what you're saying.
Because when you take them out of the freezer, you can then use a spatula. After about 2 or 3 minutes, use a spatula to take them off, pop them into a container and back in the freezer. And then, yeah, they don't clump together that way. Lovely, lovely.
Excellent. And Paul, you'll be talking more about the preparation for winter jobs in your new video this week.
Yeah, I'm going to start doing some of those autumn and winter jobs that I've been, well, sorry, I was going to say meaning to do, but that I have on my list to do because they are autumn and winter jobs. Getting our beans out is going to be one of the next things that I'm going to do.
Good. You'll be showing people in your daily vlogs all about those things.
Yeah, so, you know, a week at the plot is what I do in a standard week at the plot. So do have a look at those. I think they're very useful, and I'm really glad that many people find them useful as well.
Good. And in television news this week, as I predicted last year, I think it was last year, yeah, as I predicted, Harry and Meghan are going to be making content. Do you remember I said they should get a YouTube channel?
Oh, right.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I do remember, yeah.
Well, they're going on Netflix.
Oh, are they?
Harry and Meghan on Netflix. I won't be watching it, obviously, but I said they should do content. And they are.
What content?
I don't know, some content. Chatting, I don't know, talking about being ex-royals, I don't know.
Gosh, well that will be a fascinating watch for me to avoid.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm not saying we're going to watch it, but I did predict it.
Good. Good.
Yes, I'm good at things like that, aren't I? I'm good at predicting things, Paul. Aren't I? I very often have second sight. Yeah.
I have second sight when I look at things twice.
No, I do. I have got a history of... What's it called? What's it called?
Precognition?
Precognition... What's the other word for it?
I won't say what
Premonition. Premonition.
Premonition.
Premonition. Yes. Anyway.
The sun's come out now out
The
there.
sun has come out. How
It's,
lovely.
well, lovely. It's shining off the silver birch out there.
And this week, what have we been watching? We've been watching all the bloody usual things
Yes.
of an evening.
Yes.
But we have got a new series to start.
Well, no.
Haven't
First
we?
of all, we finished Project Blue Book. So
We
we got
finished
to we got to the 10th episode of the second series of Project Blue Book, and really sort of, you know, really got into it during the second series. And I looked up to see when the third series might be, and it's been cancelled.
What?
It's been cancelled. So yet again, a programme that we have really
A good programme.
enjoyed, has a series that we've really enjoyed, has been cancelled. And this is my concern with things like Netflix and Amazon and the big streaming services, that they're going to start doing what I think TV has done on BBC and ITV. Generally goes for the lowest common denominator, or not lowest common denominator, but the things that are going to be attracted by most people. And that is an issue, because it means that things that are exciting and different and might actually be for a different audience don't actually get a look in. And I mean, like Saturday night TV, I don't know. I mean, there used to be sort of armchair theatre and things like that, things good series, and there used to be Bergerac would be on a Saturday evening when we were kids. And,
well, it's debatable whether that was actually a good series.
But there was sort of drama. There was a mix of different things. And now Saturday TV in the UK is rubbish. I mean, yes, it's watched by 10, 11, 12 million people, but it's not watched by the 20, the 25 million that used to watch years ago. And I think it's because it's rubbish.
Well, I mean, it's television for the plebeians.
Yeah, I mean, you know, X Factor and
we used to watch those things when they were new. When they were new and they were sort of geared towards completely taking the mickey out of people, which they were.
Yeah, they were, but now I think they're even worse.
Watching people being exploited for being terribly bad at anything was quite fun, to be honest. And they've just done what they usually do and carried on and carried on and carried on, flogging that dead horse, basically, until actually people are just watching it because it's there and they've accepted it as a part of Saturday night.
Yeah.
A bit like we accepted Blind Date as part of our Saturday nights in the 80s.
Yeah, yeah.
Didn't we?
Yeah.
And they flogged that dead horse as well. So this is what TV companies do. They're so frightened of trying anything new. They're so frightened of taking a risk with new stuff. They just stick to the tried and tested. And I'm sure you've got these dinosaur bosses in these TV companies that say, oh no, just carry on with the same old format.
No, you see,
absolutely lovely.
I don't think it is that.
Really?
I think it's all about statistics and money and drive now. I think that there's much younger producers than there used to be, much younger controllers.
Yeah, but
than
you
there
know
used
what?
to be.
You know who taught those people?
Yeah, I know.
The dinosaurs taught them.
Yeah.
So it was indoctrinated in them. You know?
But I think we're beginning to see that now in the streaming services that were much more sort of cutting edge and different. And I've got a fear that they will go down that path of...
You see, the thing is, once a producer or somebody that produces a show, once they've sort of got stuck in that groove, they get stuck in that groove, you know, and they become almost obsessed with the product, you know, to the point that they become a bit tyrannical. I used to see it all the time at the BBC, well, I used to hear it all the time, how demanding a lot of people in television are.
Oh, good God, yes.
And how these projects become their babies. And they would literally kill or walk over people to protect their baby. Honestly, this is true. And this is what really puts me off about TV people. It's like the people that have been in touch with us over the years. Oh, we've got an idea for you. We think you'd be perfect. And we say, okay, show us the money. And then you don't hear anything.
Well, no, you also say, you know, what are you, you know, what is the concept? What are you talking about? And then they say, oh, well, we want you to come and cook with so-and-so, or we want you to come and look at this garden and do this. And it's sort of like, yeah, but that's all been done before. So, yeah.
They come up with these ideas, they get all buzzed up about it, do a little bit of research, and then find something better, and then completely forget the previous people that they've been in touch with these ideas, and you never hear anything again. So, you know, fickle world. It's a real fickle world, the entertainment industry, especially television.
And journalism as well.
Theatre's a bit different.
Yeah. I was talking to a journalist called me earlier this week about something that I'm working on. And I had discussion with her, and I said, do you remember we had this same conversation in October last year? And she went, "Oh no, I don't think we did." And she did. "Oh no, I don't think we did." I said, "No, we did. We had this conversation in October last year." "No, I don't think we did." I said, "Well, in October last year, you were actually at your brother's birthday party
Yeah, blah, blah,
in
blah.
Kent." And she went, oh yes, no, I remember now." And it's like, you know, I don't know.
Anyway, let's move on. So television this week, we are watching a new series. We're going to start it tonight. It's called Away. And it's a sort of space thing with Hilary Swank. I love Hilary Swank. I think she's great. I think she's a really good actress. No, I do. No, I really do. So we're going to start that and we'll talk all about that in Sunday Chat next week. So that's it for this week. Bye! That's it. We've covered all the subjects.
Oh, we've covered all the subjects, so yeah, we're going now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have literally covered everything we wanted to talk about.
I'm quite looking forward to Away.
Yeah, I am as well. It's a Mars thing, I think. Going
Another.
to Mars.
Oh, we like all of those.
But I particularly like it if they use women.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
space is normally a real male-dominated
Yeah.
thing, isn't it? And I much prefer... Well, it's not so much these days in real life. There are plenty of women going into space. But it is male-dominated. So I do prefer, you know, when they cast women in these roles.
There was another one that we watched that we quite enjoyed. There was a woman in the... Oh no, the guy died, and the woman, the second in command, she took over. We enjoyed that. Can't remember what that was called. But then, of course, there's Discovery coming up in a
lovely.
few months' time, which is great.
Brilliant.
And also, The Expanse is going to be back.
God, I love The Expanse, which of course has women in lead roles.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is great. Love that.
So there's quite a lot to look forward to, and of course, there's always an episode of Murder, She Wrote or Poirot as well.
And there are very often these days, there are more gay characters now. There's two gay characters in Discovery.
Yeah. Well, there's only one at the moment.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because No, but it all went weird, didn't it?
It did go...
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't go weird as in, well, that was really weird. It went weird in the series.
Yeah.
You know, the storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like a weird storyline.
Yeah.
But they should cast more gay characters in lead roles.
Yeah.
I still think we should have a gay detective. Like a gay Poirot. Mind you, Poirot was quite gay in a way, wasn't he?
He was
progressive.
Yes, he was quite
in terms of male grooming.
Yes, he was, with his little buttonhole.
And Suchet's portrayal is quite camp.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then you have something like Murder on the is it Murder on the Blue Train? Or Murder on the Blue Train, where he falls in love as well with one of the characters. I mean, a female character. I was
going to say that's very progressive.
He has a, you know, you can tell that he actually adores her and loves her, but of course she's younger and he's older and she has a whole life to live. But yeah, that's... Yeah.
Enough! Silence!
Blue Train? Yeah.
We're going now.
Oh, and yes, of course. We have the end of Canada's Drag Race.
Canada's Drag Race.
My very berry tea has got to me.
I think so.
Canada's Drag Race.
Finale.
It's the finale, yeah.
Finale.
So we'll be watching that.
Yeah, we will be. We'll be half watching it. I mean, we're only watching it for the Queens.
Yeah.
Really, that's the only reason we're watching it. Change the format, ditch the judges.
Yeah.
Really.
I wonder when that Vegas will be able to see the Vegas one.
I can't wait to see that. It looks fabulous.
Yeah, Las Vegas one.
Yeah.
That looks really good. There seems to be quite a lot of offshoots of that as well.
Well, there's quite a bit on Facebook
that
you can watch. I've watched a few. Anyway, we're going now. That's it. Bye. Take care. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen.
Have we really done the whole list?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Oh.
Bye for now, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Take care, and we'll see you next week. I'll see you next week, unless I decide to do a mini vlog in the week, which I probably won't.
Am I not doing Sunday chat next week then?
We'll see you next week. Thank you, bloody thank you. Goodbye. Take care.
Bye.
What?